Welcome to Make and Decorate, a podcast for makers who love to sew, quilt, and decorate. Hello everyone, welcome back. This is episode 6, and if you're new, welcome. And I've got 5 other episodes preceding this, so please go back and take a listen. I'm really happy to hear from some of you guys. I had someone from Virginia post to my business Facebook page that she had just listened and was pleased with it, and it just made my day. It really did. So I love to hear from you. So please don't hesitate to find me on any social media, Facebook, Instagram, my website, and I've got the podcast notes on its own page in there, and you can post comments. So please don't be shy. I love to hear from you. Before we get into this episode, I've just got a few little things. I do want to make a correction from the previous episode with Dory and Katie. So when we recorded that episode, it was beginning August, and it was literally maybe a day after Baby Lock introduced their new latest and greatest sewing machine called the Solaris. And I didn't know at the time that it was meant to be, replacing the Destiny 2 as the top of the line. So I kind of just said, no, I don't think it's a top of the line machine. Well, I went back and, had a much more in-depth look at it. And yes, this Solaris is truly the top of the line machine for Baby Lock. And it's hard not to get excited about this. If price is no object, this machine is pretty amazing. The projector that Dory had mentioned, I took a more in-depth look at a video of it, and it is pretty amazing. This is technology. This is latest and greatest technology, and technology costs, and, software development and that sort of thing. But this projector projects full color embroidery patterns straight down onto your fabric. And not only that, I got even more excited about the projection of the stitching guides. For quilting, this is absolutely amazing. It's like no more washi tape to put on your machines, because you have these projected guidelines that you can put not only for your stitch line, but then you can do another line for your seam allowance to where you line up your fabric at. In addition to that, you can have a third line, horizontal or diagonal, for, your quilting. Like if you want to follow a 45-degree line to make a diamond quilting pattern, it's there. So there are a lot of super fancy features on this machine, and its biggest, most new feature that's not really out there is this projector. So there's other features on it that are nice, but they're not new. For instance, now you can remove the stitch plate without a screwdriver, and that's already existed on Bernina machines, I know, and probably maybe some other machines. I'm not sure, but I know my Bernina, that's something I totally love, because I just press my little finger on the top corner of that plate and it lifts right up. Well, now Baby Lock put this in there, and it's not the same technique, but you kind of just press a little button down that releases the the needle plate. So that's a good feature. But let me tell you, I looked up the price point, and their introductory price of this machine is $19,999. So basically $20,000. And if you have that, all power to you. But that is really like, wow, jaw dropper. But like I said, it's really hard not to like it. All these, really cool modern features. However, and maybe I'll do an episode in the future because that's actually, since all the new technology has been coming out on machines that are computerized, there is an issue because just like regular technology, electronic gadgets like iPads and tablets and laptops, they age out so quickly. Like a computer is considered old after 4 years. It's crazy. And then of course the developers move on to the next latest and greatest, and then they stop supporting it. So that's what's also happening with sewing machines with software technology. They're starting to drop support and not do updates to operating systems and that sort of thing, which is really sad for people who invest thousands of dollars in these machines. And the fact that they can't use them anymore because they can't get compatibility with software and communication to upload files and stuff. That's a quandary. So maybe I think that might be worthy topic for future. You can let me know, give me your feedback. I always want to hear from you, but that's kind of in my mind because the topic has been coming up a lot, especially in a lot of the Facebook groups that I'm in. So I just wanted to make that correction. The Solaris is definitely the new top of the line for Brother, and it's shiny, bright, new, and amazing. I am going to put a link in my show notes for the video that I watched. It's the 10 top features of the Solaris by Brad. I think it's Brad Martin. But he actually has a YouTube channel. I subscribed. And he has a shop in actually the town that I used to live in 20 years ago, Ellicott City, Maryland. So that's pretty cool. But he's a pretty cool dude, and he gave a really nice look at this new projector. His video is very clear, and you can really see he does examples of the embroidery pattern on the fabric. He shows the guides and how the projector colors, you can change them, which is nice when you have different colors of fabrics. I'll put the link in there, and I would encourage you to go take a look at this video because even if you're not interested in it, it's just kind of cool just to see this new technology. It's amazing. It's just really, really neat. Okay. What else? So when this episode airs, it's going to be this Thursday. So that would be the 27th of September. And so I'll just give you kind of an update what's happening this week. I am attending the Sew Sweetness retreat. There's a couple of workshops that they're doing, and I have been wanting to go to a Sew Sweetness retreat for a few years because I think she's been doing them for the past at least 2, maybe 3 years. And it's right here, like in my backyard. It's local, so I don't even have to spend, money on a hotel. So I really want to do this because after this retreat, they're not going to do any more in the Chicago area for who knows how long, and they may be moving out of state. So they've been talking about that. So I'm like, I need to go, but I missed out on the original sign up because this stuff fills up so quickly. And I just got this last minute opportunity. Someone could not go. And for whatever reason, I saw this posted right at the time that this person said they were going to sell their ticket, and I jumped on it. I'm so excited. So I'm going to try to, do some podcast audio, segments and clips from the retreat. And maybe I might even, I've tried to do a vlog for my YouTube channel. So we'll see. I don't know. I have like lofty aspirations for this, but I need to ask them permission too first before I just kind of come in there with my own little, personal production. But yeah, so I'm really excited about that. The first day of the workshop is instructed by Celine Alert. Her pattern company is Blue Cala Designs or Patterns. So we're going to make the Baronia bag in that class. And the second day is with Sarah Lawson herself. We're going to make one of her newer patterns called the Satellite Bag. So we had some homework. We had to cut out all of our pattern pieces, fabrics, linings, stabilizers, and foam. There are a lot of components to making bags, and this is a good thing because we don't go and pay for workshops to spend hours just cutting out fabrics and ironing stabilizer onto the backs of fabrics. So I really, really like the way that they have structured these workshops. So we can get there with everything ready to go, and it's going to be fun because you're going to have everything ready to just start getting into the construction of these bags. And I'm pretty sure we're going to leave this retreat with 2 brand new bags. So that's awesome. I am so excited. I know I talk a lot about So Sweetness patterns, and they don't sponsor me, and I just, I really believe in this pattern company, and I love the way that they run their business, and it's become a family business for them. So, I just, I like talking about it because I'm excited about it, and they have a Facebook group that has grown immensely. And they do some weekly live videos, always doing some tutorials and really growing their business and teaching people who purchase her patterns the techniques, and people who have never sewn before start sewing her patterns, and then within 6 months to a year, 2 years, they become so proficient at it because the techniques are taught there, and it's really cool. I love it. So anyway, I'm not going to go on and on and on. I'm going to try to get her actually on a future episode. I would love to talk with Sarah and share everything that she does with you guys. And if you don't already know, because she has thousands, like tens of thousands of followers. So probably you guys already know about her. But anyway, getting into the episode. Oh, I have one more thing I wanted to talk about before we get into my talk with Ava. I just have a little bit of update on some new things out there. So Bernina recently announced that they are selling their gold-plated presser foot online. So that's like a first, I think, because They normally don't sell any of their accessory feet online. It has to be purchased through a dealer. So if you're interested in that, you can just go on to the Bernina website and purchase that beautiful shiny gold presser foot. This is because of their anniversary of their company. So that's available. And Baby Lock also released a new serger. It's called the Acclaim, and it's not the top of the line, but it almost to me seems like this was replacing a really popular mid-range model, what is it called? I want to say Eclipse, but I don't think that's it. Eclipse. It might be the Eclipse. Yeah, no, not the Eclipse. It's the Enlighten that I think it's replacing, because this one has the auto needle threader, which they had also introduced at their top of the line serger, the Triumph. And so yeah, those are kind of a couple of new things that I saw out there that I wanted to pass on with you guys. So this episode, I have an interview with my 10-year-old niece, Ava. She came like the week before she started school in August and did a nice long weekend with me to refresh her skills on sewing, because she used to live a little more local to me, but 2 years ago her family moved out of state, not too far away, but about, I don't know, it's like about 3.5 hours away. And so she forgot how to thread and do the bobbin on her sewing machine, so she came for a refresher course and to do some new projects. So, and let me tell you, she's so into it. She's so sharp and smart that I literally just had to show her one time and she picked it up like she had never left it. So that was so cool, really fun. So I hope you enjoy our chat, and I wanted to have her on the podcast so that if you have any kids, nieces and nephews that want to listen, I wanted them to hear, and you, the perspective from a kid and their experience with sewing, what they think about it, what they like, what the challenges are, because I know that many people ask about, how they should start teaching their child or niece, nephew how to sew. They don't want to get too advanced at the start. You don't want to overwhelm them. And every child is different. So there will be definitely, you kind of really have to tailor it to the individual. And, but I don't know, it just, Ava and I have worked out a system, and we really know, just she knows when to speak up to me if if we're working on something that's just, too hard and it's just it's not fun for her anymore. And then, I've learned her levels of just, actually she surprises me because she latches on and retains so much more information than I expect her to. But at the same time, she does like to just chill and not, like all of us. I mean, that's actually like a trait for anybody, that when you focus so hard on a project and you're learning, you're not familiar, it's not second nature yet, you're learning it, it just can be a little exhausting. So you just kind of want a breather, and you still want to do something fresh and fun and exciting. And, she's like me, she just wants to keep sewing. But, let's just do something that doesn't have to take so much hard focus and concentration, and something fun that you can get done in a few minutes. So anyway, I'm going to stop talking now because you're going to hear it right here. My conversation with Ava. Okay, this is very exciting today because I have a special guest right here in my office studio, and she is my 10-year-old niece, Ava, and she has spent the weekend here with Aunt Stephanie for some sewing lessons, and we're going to talk about, actually, we thought it would be a good topic for a podcast, and sewing with kids. So welcome, Ava. Hello.
Hi.
So, Ava, you started sewing when you were...
5 years old.
Yeah.
And then you gave me my sewing machine when I was 7 years old.
Right, but let's back up to when you were 5. So when you were 5, do you remember you came over to my house and at first when you started to sew on the sewing machine, you really couldn't like reach the foot pedal, so you kind of like sat on my lap and then you guided the fabric in the sewing machine and I did the foot pedal. Yeah, we made a couple things like that, and you love the sewing machine. You're just like me. You love sewing machines, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So then you still wanted to make stuff, so every time you visited, we would make some stuff. So yeah, then you started to, one of the things you started to make by yourself were coasters. And you did the coasters like just, we were working with little 5-inch square fabrics, like the little charm
like
packs.
The little zigzags on the...
Yeah, the chevron fabrics you liked. And then
pincushion. We did a small pillowcase for my baby doll.
But like when you made your coasters, you just came up with that on your own because you saw the little squares and you wanted to sew them together, and then we put batting in between them, remember? And you sewed those together so they made nice drink coasters, and you were giving those out to everybody as presents, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And
so
I
that
made
was fun.
one for you, and then Uncle Joe.
Yep. I still have yours right here. See it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's really cute. All right. And then when you were 7, I got you your first sewing machine. How do you like it?
Good. And then...
Is it easy to use?
Yeah, it's really easy to use.
So you have the Brother CS6000i.
Really?
Yes, really. It's kind of a popular machine. So I talked about that one in one of my earlier podcasts.
It's kind of like a race car name.
Isn't it? Yeah, 6000i.
Yeah. Well, minus the I and
right,
the brother.
Right. So on that machine, you moved out of state a couple years ago, and then you got busy with school, and so you kind of like got away from sewing a little bit and forgot how to like thread your machine and do the bobbin.
So,
but it was kind of like riding a bicycle, because then when you came this weekend, you only had to
kind of like a
refresher, yeah. Because you caught right back on, like right away, didn't you? Yeah.
And then we made...
So you learned, and like you changed the thread how many times? Like 5 times, all by yourself. And you filled up bobbins all by yourself. Yeah.
That's the easy part.
The bobbins are the easy part, right?
All you have to do is pretty much wrap it around. And then wrap it around the bobbin a couple times, and then push the bobbin back and press the pedal.
And another thing that you do too, which is good for other kids to know, is that when you start off sewing, your machine has a speed control. So what do? You turn the dial down to the slower, just to get started.
And I did that at first when I started, and then about today I started going really fast.
Yeah, you were going a lot faster today. And then you learned how to chain piece. Yeah. So we started a quilt
when
3 years ago.
Yeah.
And that's when you just started to sew those 5-inch squares together, and really that was it was an improv. It is an improv quilt because we didn't have a pattern, and we just started sewing fabrics together of what we had.
And if it's uneven, you can just snip it off.
Mhm. Yeah. You're not worried or nervous at all. You're just all you want to do is, you've been working on just getting your 1/4-inch seam, and what helps you to do that?
We put tape by the foot of the machine, and that helps me line it up.
Mhm. Yeah, you do really well with that. And let's see. Okay, yeah, so then you got your machine, and then we made a pincushion. What else? Pillowcases. Yeah.
We made a pillowcase this weekend. We finished it last night.
Yeah.
We stayed up really late.
It only took us an hour, though, to make that one because it was the burrito method, remember? And you did everything by yourself. Only I cut out the 2 pieces, but then you sewed it all together, so you actually did a French seam. Yeah. And that turned out great. And you learned, and you pivoted. Did a good job in the pillowcase.
And then I made the zipper pouch, 2 zipper pouches.
Oh, yeah.
Blue colored zipper pouches.
And that's made out of
cork fabric.
Cork fabric, which is like your favorite now, isn't it?
Yeah. It's really easy to work with.
And then you learned, and you did a zipper for the first time. You made that cork pouch like in 20 minutes, if that even. You were impressed, weren't you? You got so excited because it was so easy and you could do it, and it looks really nice, like it's bought from the store, doesn't it? Yeah, you were pretty impressed with the cork fabric. Yeah, so that was a Sew Sweetness pattern. And we watched her YouTube video, so you liked that a lot too. You got to see how she made it, and then we cut out the pattern, and we did her technique for cutting out the narrow zipper opening, and then you sewed the zipper just like she did. Yeah. And you said it was easy. And then what did you do? You made another one. You made like 2 of those in like an hour's time. 2 zipper pouches. Yeah, it was really fast. You're like, can we make another one?
So I made matching ones for Ian and Auntie Stephanie. And then she's gonna let me take home the rest of the cork fabric roll that we cut into, and a couple zippers.
You're gonna make 4 more. Yeah. So, and then what we also did too, so that if you get home and maybe you don't sew for like another week or so because you're starting school next week, we made videos with you at your sewing machine. As you wound up your bobbin and you threaded your sewing machine, so we've got some close-up shots and videos so you can refer back to those, and when you go home you can keep sewing. Yep. So you have everything you need to make 4 more zipper pouches. Yeah. And what's fun about the cork fabric is that we didn't have to cut any foam, and we didn't have to cut any stabilizer. You can just sew the cork fabric. It doesn't need a lining, so it was really quick.
Yeah, and my favorite part is going around the corners because they're kind of not really sharp, but they go around.
Easy curves.
Smooth. Yeah.
Yeah. That was good. Because the first thing we made, our first project for the weekend was the Sew Sweetness desktop cube. Yeah, and you did that. That was nice, and it was fun, but you said it was what?
A lot of steps and kind of hard.
Yeah, it was a lot of steps because we had to cut all the fabric for the outside and the inside.
And the foam.
Mm-hmm.
And the liner?
Stabilizer.
Stabilizer.
Yeah, and then we had to iron the stabilizer on the lining pieces, and then you had to sew the foam on. It was a lot of stuff.
Clip it together.
Yeah.
And then flip it inside out and do stuff like that.
Yeah. I know. It seemed like it was going to take forever to get done with that one, right? Yeah. But you did it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But then it was good. You said you liked it, that it was done, but it was too many steps. So I think it's important for, kids to try stuff, and if it's too much to start, like you don't want to make that one again for a little while. Yeah, you want to do stuff, and that's good, because you should do stuff more that you're comfortable with, and that zipper pouch, you loved that one.
Maybe like a little bit harder than the zipper pouch, because that only took me probably
10 minutes.
10 minutes to make.
Yeah, once we had it cut out. Mm-hmm.
Maybe something like 30, 45 minutes or an hour would be
something that you don't have to add all of the foam and the stabilizer to. So cork would be a good fabric to keep sewing, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you saw a couple of other cork projects you want to make, like the little notebook cover, and there was that little luggage tag that looked kind of cool to make. Yeah, so
I kind of want to make like a fabric folder that you could put your notebook in. That would be cool. Or some, like the papers that you print out, so you're not like throwing it in your, like a, well, you could put it in a folder, but it would be pretty easy maybe to make one of the fabric folders with like a bright pink or in teal color.
Yeah. That's a lot more fun.
Yeah.
See, that's what's fun about sewing.
You could, like the papers that you cut out that you have to measure and stuff, you could put supplies and stuff like that.
That's a good idea. Yeah. And then you made, and it's also fun because you can make your own custom pillowcases, and that didn't take very long, and that wasn't too many steps. So you had fun with that, right? And
it's longer to sew. Sometimes, like, you want stuff, maybe you could switch between long stuff to sew, maybe square stuff, and then shorter stuff, because if you do one thing, then it kind of gets boring.
Yeah. It gets too boring, yep. And then it starts becoming not fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's good now that you have some experience. Well, even when you were younger, when you were like 7, we started working on that quilt, and it was really like you could only last for an hour on that project, and then you wanted to move on to something else. So then you just started to make your little coasters.
Yeah.
So I think it's good, you have that was like a more long-term project, and we're actually finishing that up this weekend.
Yeah.
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 The quilt top, at least. We'll still have to quilt it and bind it, but just finishing the quilt top that's a big check mark done, right?
Yeah.
It feels good because you wanna use it.
Yeah.
It's really cute too. It's got nice bright colors, and you've gotten so much better at the 1/4-inch seam and pressing. You love to press and iron.
Yep.
Yeah. And then, you learned about the Wonder Clips. You love those instead of the pins.
Yeah.
So Wonder Clips are much easier for kids to work with.
Well, they're easy and kind of better because pins kind of poke a hole in your fabric. So then when you go to sew it, your needle's doing another hole, and you don't want to have a hole.
And you can't poke holes in cork. You have to use clips.
Yeah, you have to use clips.
But they're much easier to use. So then we got you some Wonder Clips, and we have a little mason jar we put them in. And then today we on the lid of the mason jar, we made it into a pincushion.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun, and that was
Yeah,
also
it was.
another quick project, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we took the lid off and we just traced it. You picked out a really cute fabric and traced it, and then you did a little running stitch with the hand needle around the perimeter of that. It was so easy, and we stuffed it with the filler.
Yeah, except the stuffing part, I would say, was more hard because you gotta stuff it in there
And put the lid back on top
and
of
put
it.
the lid on top and try to, and then it all
pull
kind
the
of comes
thread. Yeah.
coming up when you push the lid down, so you have to kind of, and you have to move the fabric and hold the lid down at the same time.
Yeah, so it was a little challenging.
Yeah.
But you did it, and then they were so cute. We loved them when they were done, because I made one too.
Yeah.
It was fun. And then it changed the whole look of the mason jar. Now it looks so pretty and cute.
Super cute. And we both used the pink flower
Pink flower fabric.
like a hot pink.
Yeah. So that was cool. We did a lot of projects this weekend. We made the desktop cubes, pillowcase, finished your quilt top, made the pin cushion top, 2 cork bags, zipper pouches.
That's a lot of stuff.
Yeah. And then maybe you want to try to make another project. We'll see. We'll see how it goes tonight, because tomorrow you got to go back. But I would say we had a pretty successful weekend, and you made a ton of stuff. Yeah, and it was a lot of fun. And you learned a lot of new techniques, and you got excited about certain things that you like to sew, and then what else?
And the other project that I want to make maybe tonight is like a little pouch that can snap together or just open. Well, either tie or snap to hold maybe your phone, and then make an extra pocket for your charger that your charger can go in.
Yeah.
Oh, or maybe we could do for the charger pocket a snap, and then the bigger pouch for your phone, like we could do a zipper for that. Maybe.
Oh, I see. Yeah. So it's for the bigger compartment where
so
the phone
then
goes. You could put a zipper, and
Yeah.
then on the front of that pouch, you can have another pocket for the charger cord and close it with a snap.
Yeah, because if you think about it, if you were, let's say, for the phone pocket, you would use like a tie. What if the tie comes undone and then your phone could fall out?
Right,
and
it's
you
not
don't
very
notice
secure.
it, and you don't have a case on your phone, it could shatter everywhere.
That's right.
Or break.
Good thinking. So that, that's good. And you're just designing this just from yourself. So that's pretty cool. It's very creative, and I think that you really love everything about sewing, just like I do. You love the fabrics.
Because there's all different kinds of fabrics, colors.
You love all the threads. You have fun picking out the threads, and you had an variegated thread on the cork bed. That was fun. So you like all of it, and it's so good that you use your creativity, and you're actually designing your own little foam bag. You put a lot of thought into it. Yeah, it's good.
Well, I looked at your case, and then I wanted to make like a bag or something. Because yours holds your phone in. So, something, maybe I can make it.
For your phone.
Yeah.
Yep. That's awesome.
And I do have a black holder for mine, but it clips onto your pants, and sometimes my pants fall down.
See, this is going to be more functional to how you need it to work.
Yeah.
So, and then the other thing that we were talking about is that it's important for kids, and actually not only kids, but anybody who sews, to have free sewing time. We do something that's called free time, like free sewing time. So we'll have a project that we're working on. Let's say we worked on the desktop cube, and when we got done with it later on in the day, you know, there was a time where she could just work on whatever she wanted. Like, it's her own free time, and she can do and sew and make whatever she wanted, right? You love that. Yeah.
And you can kind of use your imagination more when you have free time. Because if you watch a video and you're making a craft and then you're halfway through and it's too hard, and then sometimes it's really hard and it's worth it because you get done with it and you use it a lot and you're able to use it a lot. And sometimes it's like you make it and you don't like how it turned out, like the fabric, or if you messed up and you can't fix it. Well, that's not really true, but if you couldn't fix it.
Because we always fix it, but
yeah.
That's the other thing I tell you, is that we can always fix anything, so you don't have to worry about making mistakes. Yeah.
So let's say you couldn't fix it, and then you're pretty much almost done, or you don't have something. That's why you got to gather all of your supplies up first and make sure you have everything before you're in the middle of the project. And if it's something that you really needed for it, then
yeah. So then it's nice to just be able to, I think free time lets you just relax, like, you know, you can just like free your mind, and you don't have to focus so hard because you're not following someone else's pattern or instructions. And
you can kind of just do it with your imagination and think about something that you need or something. And maybe if you're thinking of that, you can think of something else that you could make or that you could use.
Right. Yeah, so that was fun. And then, so you're already making a list of things that you want to make, you know, through the end of the year. Yeah, so that was good too. It's nice. See, you're already making what we call a WIP, WIP, work in progress.
Oh.
Yeah. Where you start project and you have it in progress. So you got a couple things started, and you got a couple of things on your to-do list to make. Yep. So you're going to be busy. You got fabrics and got your machine. So you had a lot of fun.
A lot of fun stuff to do.
Yeah. Great. Well, is there anything else you want to say or talk about with sewing, and how you like it, or how it's helped you, or what you like about your machine, or what are your favorite tools? I think the Wonder Clips are your favorite right now.
Yeah, the Wonder Clips, and of course the machine, because it makes things go faster. And
you're still cutting fabrics out with scissors, and you learned about the friction pen. You love that. Oh, and the white chalk marker.
So, you're basically doing part of it by hand, like the cutting, the tracing.
Yeah.
The computer's not
but not rotary cutting yet, because we just did, like, we tried it a little bit, but you saw how it was still kind of a little, you got to
push really hard.
Yeah.
That's the annoying part.
Yeah.
And it's harder if you're you're sitting down.
Well, yeah, you don't want to rotary cut when you sit down. But you're smart that, I mean, you wanted to try the rotary cutter, and I let you try under my supervision, and then you realized it was a little harder than you thought it was going to be. And then you're happy to go back to the scissors, and the scissors were good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's fun to use the rotary cutter.
Yes, rotary cutter with adult supervision.
Not really adult supervision.
What?
No.
Yes. I would say by the time you're 12,
some
maybe.
people are
got
like,
a couple more years
hey,
to
watch
go.
out, you're going to cut your hand, and they scare you, and then you cut yourself.
Well, yeah, but you're not. That's why you came just by yourself. You're not your little distraction with your younger siblings.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, and that's the other thing we talked about. So when you go back home, when you set up your sewing in your bedroom, you're going to close the door and not have, the 4-year-old running in there and distracting you. And
or the
where there's a chance for you,
2-year-old.
there's a chance of injury or whatever. So, yeah.
Or mostly ruining my stuff.
Oh, ruining your stuff. That's right. They got to keep their little paws off it.
Yeah.
Because that's not a toy, right?
Yeah. I mean,
it's a tool.
If you have a dog like Cooper, or I mean, he's just laying down.
Yeah. Oh, you're saying you could sew with a dog in the room, but not your brother.
Not my brother or sister.
Right.
Well, if it's well trained, like Cooper.
Yeah, you like Cooper. Cooper's our studio sewing dog.
Yeah.
He's a good boy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He's passed out on the floor right now.
Yeah, you like him. He lays right by your chair on the floor.
Yeah.
While you sew.
It's a good thing I didn't back up earlier because his head was under my chair.
Okay, what's the machine that you said you wanted to get next?
Oh, the Juki one.
No. Oh, now you changed it to the Juki? You also wanted a serger.
Oh, I did?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because it says the time on it.
You're funny. Well, I am sure there's many more machines in your future, because if you're anything like me, right? Yeah. High five. Yay. All right. Well, we had a great weekend, and thanks for talking with me on my podcast about your sewing and encouraging other kids your age to learn how to sew, because it's fun.
It's fun.
It's fun. And there was something that you really liked about the Sew Sweetness videos that you watched on YouTube.
Yeah, and if you like crafts or something like that, like if you like to draw, well, that comes in handy when you're tracing things.
But she always said something at the end of her videos that you really loved.
Oh yeah. If I can do it, so can you.
Yep. And that got you all motivated. Yeah. And then when you learned that cork zipper pouch was like the highlight of your weekend.
Yeah.
You loved it. It was, and I think we all love it, even adults, when you find a project that you can make that seems easy to you, but it looks so impressive to everybody. It looks so much harder than it was to make, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, like when you're in the store, sometimes you can make stuff. Let's say in the store that zipper pouch would probably be at least $15, something like that.
Maybe 25.
Yeah, maybe 25. And yeah, when you make it, it's just way easier. And then you can see, let's say in the store you're looking at something that looks really fancy, and you say, oh, I bet that's really hard to make it. And then you go and make it and watch videos on how to make it, and then you're like, oh, that's so easy. Maybe I can go get the supplies and make it.
Yeah.
If you have sewing stuff or something like that, you could make it, because all you need is cork and
a zipper. It was pretty easy, simple.
And then
cork, a zipper, sewing machine, and thread. That's it.
And you have to cut out the papers.
Yeah, the
so
pattern.
Pretty much maybe a rotary cutter or scissors.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And then
but
ruler.
But that cork zipper pouch really opened your eyes of, wow, I could make this and it's sold in the stores. Yeah. Right? Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Well, you might not find cork zipper pouches in the stores.
Well, maybe. But,
yeah.
Or vinyl, like faux leather.
Yeah.
Kind of like faux leather, yeah.
Yeah, it is, because it's kind of soft.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Well, I'm glad you had a good time and a good sewing weekend. We were very, very productive, and we had tons of fun. And what was pretty cool, too, was last night, even when we had our free sewing time, we were both at our sewing machines. And it's just fun to sew with other people who are sewing with you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that doesn't change when you grow up.
Yeah, and even if you have, a dog or a Cooper laying next to you.
Yeah, he gives you company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if he's asleep.
Yeah. And then we listen to Pandora.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Because he has, his own little bed up here.
Yeah. Oh, and what was the other thing you loved up here? The Keurig. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Fun times. All right. Well, we're going to wrap it up and get back to sewing because we're going to do a little bit more free time. Mm-hmm. And finish out the weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Hopefully Mommy's late
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Hopefully she's late tomorrow. You're funny. And then maybe we'll have you on another episode when you come back to do another sew day or sew weekend.
In the fall.
In the fall. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Thank you, Ava. Mm-hmm. We'll talk to you later. Aw, everyone, I hope you enjoyed my talk with Ava. We had so much fun that weekend. Even though Ava is learning sewing from me, I also learn from her when she is with me, and it's quite refreshing to sew with kids because they kind of just take you back sort of to your childhood and just that free thinking, open creativity, and kids just haven't developed any pessimism or fear of doing new things. And I love it. It's like Alice in Wonderland, and one of my favorite, stories, where just everything is new and exciting and fun, and it's just, I think that Ava, she's just so amazing. I know I'm partial and she's my niece, but she really has an affinity towards crafting and sewing, and she just comes up with these things that I'm like, wow, you really think about this, and you have a level of creativity that is so just amazing, really, to just already be designing in her head the type of phone case or pouch that she wanted, and she had the forethought about adding storage for her charger. So oh, and a side note, she doesn't have a phone to be texting and that sort of thing. It's just for her to be able to take pictures, and there's no it's just an older phone from her parents. So I know, I don't know, because it does, I don't know, for me, it's still kind of weird if little kids have their own phones and if they're already texting at age 10 and, social media, that whole thing is just crazy. So I like the way that, her parents have done it where, she can have her own little phone, but just, for her to take pictures and that sort of thing. Okay. So And we did end up making that phone pouch. That was our very last project, and we just did it on the fly. We designed it together. We kind of sketched out on paper, and we measured her phone, and just made a simple, and we may have lined it, but we didn't add any stabilizer or foam. So we just kept it really simple. Turned out really cute. And I think we did add either a snap or maybe another zipper to the front pocket. So, yeah, it was really fun. And I just hope that, if you have some kids that, kind of showed some interest in sewing, have them listen to the podcast and just take some time to introduce them to sewing, and you start slow. But I know from the feedback from Ava, a really important thing for her is to just allow herself to experiment with the fabrics and just the sewing machine, get to know it. In one of her free time, she just played around with some of the decorative stitches, and it's just really good. She gets to know her machine better and develops more experience and techniques in all the different things that you can do with sewing. So I want to hear from all of you out there. If you have kids, nieces, and nephews that you have taught to sew, let me know what you've done, what's worked, what hasn't worked, what you've learned. I love hearing the next generation that's learning and that loves to sew. I think it's really important to foster that and to keep this art alive and going. Thanks for listening, and you can find me on Instagram. I have a Facebook business page, or go to my website, and you can comment on any of those places, and I'd love to hear from you. Thanks again, and I will see you, or you can hear from me next time. Bye for now. Thanks for listening to the Make and Decorate podcast with Stephanie Socha Design. You can find me online at stephaniesochadesign.com. Check out the show notes there, the blog, and I'm on Instagram at stephanie.socha.design. And you can also email me, stephaniesochadesign@gmail.com. And hey, get your machines out and sew something today. Toodles. Bye.